let me be real with you for a minute. I'm not starting this journey from some perfect place. This isn't me smiling with a protein shake, riding a wave of motivation. I'm actually tired today. My Oura ring says I got 6 hours of sleep, and honestly, it feels like even less. I've had a long day of back-to-back meetings, hunched over spreadsheets, peering into Zoom boxes, trying to keep up. I had an egg and cheese bagel earlier that's sitting heavy, and a matcha latte that's way sweeter than it needed to be. Not exactly peak nutrition performance. Mentally, I'm foggy, I'm fatigued, and part of me was tempted to push this workout tomorrow. But that's why I'm doing this, because I don't want to keep pushing the hard stuff off. This is real life, tired, imperfect, caffeinated survival mode, and I'm showing up anyway. 6 months ago, my physical exam was a wake-up call. It wasn't alarming, but it was enough to make me pause. Enough to remind me that my old athlete self is a few layers deep. And if I don't do something now, it'll only get harder to come back. I'm not trying to be some ultra-positive poster boy for fitness. I'm just a 40-year-old dad, husband, working in the city, stressed, tired, trying to find a way back to my health. Not just for me, but for my wife, for my daughter, for the kind of future that I want to be present in. And if I don't try now, I know where this road goes. Maybe meds, maybe fatigue that never lifts, maybe a version of me I won't recognize in a few years. So this is me making a choice. So let's talk about where I'm starting from and why I'm doing it this way. Right now, my VO₂ Max is 40 milliliters per kilogram per minute. That's a solid score. It puts me in the quote-unquote good range for a 40-year-old male. The average VO₂ Max for guys my age tends to sit around 38 to 42, so I'm just about in the middle of that bell curve. But to give you a little perspective, elite endurance athletes like marathoners or pro cyclists often sit around 60 to 85. And we're kicking things off with one of the most underrated but powerful tools in endurance training, Zone 2. Now you might be asking, what even is Zone 2? Let me break it down. Zone 2 training is all about aerobic power, not max speed. It's that sweet spot where your body's working, but you're still able to hold a conversation. Your heart is elevated, but not maxed out. And that's the slightly uncomfortable but sustainable pace. The place where your body is burning fat efficiently and building serious endurance under the surface. Think of Zone 2 as the foundation of your fitness house. It's where your mitochondria, the energy factories in your cells, learn to work smarter. It's where your body gets better at using oxygen, which is exactly what we're trying to improve through VO₂ Max training. For me, that means hitting the treadmill today for 40 minutes, steady and consistent, keeping my heart in that low to mid aerobic zone, around 60 to 70% of my max heart rate. Zone 2 might not look flashy, but it's how athletes build engines, and it's how everyday people, like me and you, can build health that actually lasts. So today I lace up, I press start on the treadmill, and I lock in, because this is the work that matters. This is how the comeback begins, not with the crazy sprint or a crash diet, but with oxygen, rhythm, and a commitment to move forward one breath at a time. Let's get it. I'm already out of breath. And just to be super clear here, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a fitness coach. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a fitness coach. I'm saying that twice. So please consult a medical professional before starting any kind of VO₂ Max or high intensity training, especially if you're new to it. This stuff is powerful, but it could also be dangerous if your body's not ready for it or if you're managing your health and other conditions. I'm building this slowly, intentionally, safely, and I'm sharing the whole process because if I can balance this with real life, so can you. Movement has a beat, and every story has a soundtrack. Here's a glimpse of mine. This playlist is a little nostalgic, a soundtrack that's carried me through a lot, It's helped me navigate heartbreak, tough hikes, and those long late night drives when your mind won't sit still. It's electric, but just not in sound. The lyrics hit deep. Honestly, if you want a little insight into how my world works, this playlist gets close. It's up on Amazon Music. I dropped the link below. And just so you know, it's part of my influencer program. So if you stream through that link, it quietly supports the channel.